Well, the Prime Minister may have been a little busy for a samba lesson, but it does seem Australia generally may be missing out on the action in Brazil. Julia Gillard's visit this week is the first by an Australian Prime Minister to a country that is the sixth biggest economy in the world. But so far, the emerging South American giant ranks well down the pecking order of Australia's trading partners. Neil Woolridge reports.
Here in Australia, Brazil is perhaps best known for its glittering carnival and generations of freakishly talented soccer players. What's less appreciated is that Brazil is not just a sporting and partying powerhouse, but a rising economic force as well.
Brazil is a westernized democracy with a land area equivalent to Australia plus an extra New South Wales. In a nutshell, I would say democracy, market size and market growth.
It's a big population, 190 million people, sixth biggest economy in the world. It's got a lot of similarity to Australia in this sense that it's a great proxy for investing in China growth.
And over the past decade, Brazil's GDP growth has averaged around 5% a year, notwithstanding some sharp peaks and troughs. Despite those economic strengths, Australia had only $2 billion in commerce with Brazil last year, ranking it our 29th biggest trading partner. And Julia Gillard's visit this week is the first by an Australian Prime Minister. According to some, it's a wake-up call for Australian business to grasp an opportunity that's been ignored for too long.
Sometimes opportunities can be missed when Australian businesses do not experience the unique business culture of Brazil firsthand, but the potential is huge.
Latin America is a great part of the world, you know. It's not just Brazil, but Brazil in particular because of size and potential size. But Latin America generally, I think, is a really undervalued opportunity by Australians, you know, because it is sort of on the other side of the world.
Gary Weaven chairs Pacific Hydro, which owns 2 wind farms in Brazil. He's also chairman of Industry Funds Management and says Brazil's economic fundamentals make it an attractive destination.
We think, you know, this is a great opportunity to get solid returns for our members and to diversify away from Australia. We're very happy about our Australian investments, but diversification is very important to us.
Services make up around 2/3 of Brazil's GDP, while food production accounts for nearly 6% of Brazil's output and mining 3%. Lewis Nevis says there are many similarities between Australia and Brazil, both economically and socially.
I would say for Australian businesses to succeed in the growing Brazilian market, to understand that they should establish themselves in Brazil and not in a nearby country.
Brazil now has had very good consistent government and economic policy, and that's paying off. All governments represent some political risk, but Brazil, I think, is a very sound bet.
Brazil's Trade Bureau hopes Julia Gillard's visit may be the first step in building on those similarities. But for the time being, Australia may just have to concede bragging rights to the South Americans on partying and soccer.